Good day, sir. We are Group 6, and we will be discussing our key figure, which is Paracelsus. So, first off, I would like to ask Gilbert, what is the intellectual revolution all about?
First off, John, intellectual revolution in science and technology refers to a series of events that can overcome challenges, but this does not happen overnight. These events can lead us into a modern science and to update our present scientific critical thinking, covering critical periods of history. In the case of Paracelsus, he was a pioneer in a number of aspects in medical revolution. Medical revolution started to make an appearance after the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. Medical revolution started with Paracelsus' idea to unite medicine with chemistry, which led to a book containing the modern medicine we have today. That's all, John.
Thank you for your answer. Next is, can someone tell me who is the key figure in the revolution from our group?
Paracelsus is credited with being the first to use minerals and other compounds in medicine. Mercury, lead, arsenic, and antimony, all poisons to most people, were considered cures by him. There is a poison in everything, and nothing exists without it. That those determine whether a poison is poisonous or not. Arsenic is still used to kill specific parasites, even though most of his prescriptions have fallen out of flavor. Paracelsus was a Phocian character with a ferocious appetite for knowledge and a proclivity for roaming. However, accounts of his executions through China and Asia Minor are likely to be incorrect. He was thought to be pompous and lacking in tact. Paracelsus wrote several medical books, including what is likely the first monograph on Miner's disease. Most of his work was not published until after his death, hence his influence grew after he died. Peter Sorensen, who published his idea medicine philosophical in 1571, defended Paracelsus against Galen, who was regarded the greatest medical authority. The new chemical medicine invented by Paracelsus was published in the Ottoman Empire shortly after the first medical chemistry courses were taught in Jena in the early 1600s.
Thank you for that insight, Neil. It is true that he was considered as one of the founder of medicine through studying poison and classifying their types. But how did his revolution, advance modern science and scientific thinking at that time?
Well, without the discoveries in this medical revolution, the fields of medicine in the present day would be very different. This revolution that was pioneered by Paracelsus led to the introduction of chemistry into medicine. Minerals and other chemicals in medicine such as mercury, lead, arsenic, and antimony, which was treated as a poison to most at that time, was viewed as a cure by Paracelsus in the revolution and was used to treat many illnesses. You know, Paracelsus once said that in all things there is a poison, and there is nothing without a poison. It depends only upon the dose whether a poison is poison or not. With this belief of his, scientific thinking about the proper dose in medicine developed at that time. Paracelsus theorized that materials which are poisonous in large doses may be curative in small doses. For instance, in 1530, Paracelsus wrote a clinical description of syphilis, a disease caused by bacterial infection, in which he suggested that with the proper measured doses of mercury, the disease could be successfully treated. Paracelsus was the first to declare that the mercury, which was treated as poison, if given in small doses can save a being. He said that what makes a man ill also cures him. Well, this is an anticipation of modern practice of homeopathy, a medical system based on the belief that the body can cure itself. There are more treatments that were discovered by Paracelsus in this medical revolution, but the most important is that his thirst for knowledge, he was able to unite medicine with chemistry, which shape our modern science in the medical field today. How about you, John? Do you know what are the controversies in the revolution?
Yes, I have known some of the controversies um that deals with Paracelsus. So the controversies that met the intellectual revolution, for example, is the theory of Charles Darwin. A brief biography of Darwin is that he is an English naturalist whose scientific theory of evolution by natural selection, which became the foundation for modern evolutionary. He proposed that all species of life have descended over time from common ancestors. His theory of evolution was considered controversial because he opposes the dismissive idea that human beings are the results or long process of evolution that came from an omniscient God. We can compare this controversy with Paracelsus, which focuses on medicinal revolution. He saw poisons as a cure to certain diseases. Controversies that led to Paracelsus' revolution was that he overthrew convention by publicly burning books of Ibn Sina and Galen. These were Islamic medical sages. In short, they were great doctors during the earlier days that contributed to the Arab world and Europe in the 17th century. Another controversy was that during his lectures, he made his students wear an alchemist's leather apron instead of an academic gown. And because of these weird or uncommon methods that it became controversial to the eyes of the public that he was exiled from Basel in 1538. That is all.
In addition to our discussion, how do you think, guys, did the contribution of Paracelsus impacted society in general?
That's a great question, Kerwin. I would like to say that during their time, the economic and industries are growing and it continues to develop, resulting different new inventions. The way of living of resulting for the risk of infectious diseases and other unknown conditions. With these reasons, physicians made a fast progress in preventing future illness and to understand how the illness may work. Though these work products are very successful at the time, physicians still continue to develop it in order for it to improve and work more perfectly in the future.
Well, to add up to your answer, many people in their society at the time believed that illnesses were caused by the curses of witches, black magic, or punishment from spiritual gods for their sins, along with other superstition. However, with the introduction of chemistry to medicine, many physicians, including Paracelsus, were able to replace superstitious belief with scientific facts that have influenced our society to this day. It aided us in fully understanding our human body and discovering numerous treatments for such diseases. How about what are the practical application today of Paracelsus' contribution to science?
I would like to answer that question. The practical application of toxicology and medicine in science today is that toxicology provides critical information and knowledge that can be used by regulatory agency, agencies and decision makers to prevent or reduce the likelihood of having a disease. Medical toxicology helps us evaluate and treat patients who are poisoned and envenomated since drugs is becoming a widespread health disease or problem in our society. Toxicology can provide information for producing a solution that will fight against these toxic agents. Thank you.
Well, I think that's all for our discussion. I hope our answers were very informative to you. Thank you for listening.